I'm going to jump ahead to rule number 5,
Okay.
because you kind of segged into it. Have a minimum daily word count and hit it.
Oh, yes. I'm a big believer in this. Wait, Dave, do you want to defame me for a second before I go on and say why that's not important? Or do you think it is important? It's just that we have so much stuff that, like, hitting a word count seems arbitrary.
I think it depends. It depends a lot on what you're trying to do and how much time you actually have to do it in. If you're on a tight deadline, then obviously word counts are more important than not. That being said, if you are not on a tight deadline and you're not coming up with anything, even after you sat at the computer for 2 hours, get up and go do something. Come back.
But do you think that because I draw a pretty thick parallel between like weight training and word count, right?
Well, you're talking to the wrong guy about weight training.
Okay, it's
Maybe we
like
should get Johnny on.
well, okay, yeah, this is gonna be
go
a
ahead.
hard one. No, this is gonna be a hard one to get through. It's like anything that you want to do. Like if you're running, you're probably not okay.
Maybe building a deck.
Okay, how about competitive eating? If
There you
want
go.
to.
All right.
You see that guy, the Japanese guy who could eat 47 hot dogs in like 2 minutes, 3 minutes?
I see him like every year. I think there's like only one Japanese dude that is in this
All right.
whole contest.
Now that guy didn't eat 47 hot dogs in 3 minutes his first time, right?
I did. I was like 2 months old.
He started by eating one hot dog, and then do you eat hot dogs?
No, I don't eat meat, remember?
Yeah, I was gonna say you don't seem like a hot dog eater. You actually don't like all the delicious things that I would think a big guy would like. You're kind of finicky.
I'm fat vegan or fat vegetarian.
That's a book, man.
Don't let Johnny hear that.
I think it's about it's strength training. It really is, and like that is my goal. I've wanted to finish since the start of this year. I mean, I know a lot of people think New Year's resolutions are kind of stupid, and I totally understand why they think that because most people don't change. You pretty much forget your resolution.
Nobody changes.
March, but I've always taken resolutions pretty seriously. I like the practice. I like kind of writing my intentions down in December, and
I like lying to myself once a year.
and living them, and I've managed to keep more New Year's resolutions than not. But one of my big ones.
You want a hero parade?
I do, as opposed to a very rare hero parade reference. That was my big one for this year was 10,000 words, and I'm not there yet, but I was at 4,000 words for a long, long time, and it's just a matter of when you know what your baseline is. Again, I'm so fascinated by the power of the human mind, and that's another one. It's like once we know, I didn't know 5,000 or 10,000 words was possible until Jonathan Field sent me a link. I don't know, maybe a year ago, 2 years ago. No, it was a year ago.
About a year ago.
And he sent me a link of somebody who had hit 10,000 words, and they were doing 10,000 words a day pretty consistently.
Show off.
But she was a scientist, and the way she had handled it was like a scientist. It was like conducting all these experiments, and it was all like cracky, crazy stuff about knowing her environment. And it was really interesting because she was I think she was a romance novel writer, and she was published, and she was coming from that world, and she was doing pretty decently, but she was trying to juggle a job, and writing was her side thing, but she had just had a child, and she wanted more time off to spend with her child and write, so she quit her job. But she was regularly getting 1,500 words a day done when she was juggling her job and writing. Then she quit, and she was getting 1,500 words a day. She wasn't writing one more word, and she had like 8 hours extra every day. And she's like,
a kid, man. You're lucky to write 100 words with a kid around.
She's like, I can't do this. So she got out her spreadsheet and started measuring and started, tracking her variables. And it's the nerdiest article ever, and it's like 84 billion words to get through it. But at the end, I just felt so inspired. Like, dude, if she can hit 10,000 words, I can hit 10,000 words. And you see this all the time. You see it in technology. Like, once a barrier is broken, everyone breaks that barrier. It becomes the new mile marker. You see it in running all the time. Like, there's a speed no one can beat. And then once it's beat, you know, there's another 10 runners who can do it.
If this is your way of saying that you're moving to 20,000 words a day, I'm just going to go right now.
No, I will be perfectly happy at 10 because honestly, I don't want to get to 20. What I want to do is get to 10 and have more time in my day. I want to be able to hit the production that I'm hitting now and have it be something I can do without owning my life. Right now, I'm at a crazy level of production, but it's all I do. I don't read the news, which sucks. I used to really like watching TV and the news, and now everything's very scheduled and programmed, and I don't like that. I want more life back.
And how many hours does it take for 10,000 words on average for you?
I'm averaging 5 hours a word. 5 hours a day right now, pure writing. So my average right now is slightly under 2,000 words. I write 5 hours almost every day, and my average is getting really close to 2,000. So I'm actually pretty close to. I have every bit of confidence that I'm going to hit 10,000 words a day by the end of the year. But I'll also say I spike a lot because there's a difference. So I have almost everything I write goes in 3 batches. So it's 10,000 words of writing, 10,000 words of rewriting, and then polishing. And rewriting takes me every bit as long as writing. But that's kind of the key of writing fast. So if I wrote 10,000 words and it took me 6 hours, it's going to take me 6 hours to rewrite those words. So rewriting is almost like writing for me. Polishing, I used to do a lot faster, but I've actually been really trying to be as thorough with my polish as I am with my writing and my rewriting.
And your writing partner thanks you for that.
Yeah, well, I did. You know what? You totally inspired me on Sunday when you knocked out the beats as thoroughly as they were. And when I was on my 3rd day, I'm like, I am a jerk. See, that was me watching my language. I'm a jerk if I don't scrub this as squeaky as I can and give it to him in great shape, because he had just gone above and beyond giving me this awesome outline to work from.
Da, 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 da.
Yeah. So I really wanted to spend time. So I did. I actually, this is the first time ever, I think I spent longer on the polish than I did on the rewrite. But I really enjoyed it. I actually felt, when I passed it off, I felt really good. I got rid of a lot of those redundant words that, you know, the ly words or the that's or the was. You know, there's just all those little like fat words that,
hey,
your copy is good even if they're in there, but it's the difference between good and great. And I really wanted it to be as close to great as it could be for him. And I knew there were some narrative things but that's always going to be, when we're writing together, there's always going to be some I see that I want to be better, and there's going to be things that Dave sees that he wants to be better, and it's just a matter of how we focus it. But I'm content with getting 10,000 words one day and revisiting those 10,000 words, and it's not a new 10,000 words, but that's fine. Like, I don't expect to be like a total machine, but if I could get through, you know, 25,000 fresh words a week, that would be awesome. And I think that's reasonable. That's like one story and one short story. And because like for Dave and I, most of our serialized stuff is about 15,000 words, and I would love to be able to do one episode of something and then a short story, like whether it's for kids or grown-ups or whatever. I really like that. And I think 25,000 words a week, 100,000 a month is perfectly reasonable. And I could do that. I could sustain that for my life and live a good life.
Now, one last question on this topic.
Yeah.
People that don't have a lot of time, people that work or they have their kids at home or whatever, just that's most people, I think.
Yeah.
People that only have an hour here, an hour there. How should they approach word counts?
That's a great question. I think that what you want to do, it's like weight training. Maybe you can't go to the gym for an hour a day and look like, what's the dude who's the werewolf on True Blood? Because he's got the, like, if I could have any body.
I don't know. Why don't you just spin your camera to the left and show us a poster on your wall?
I don't have a poster, but if I could give my wife one present, it would be that body. It's just so He's tall.
Just hire that guy to come over.
Well, no, I want to absorb the body. I want to be the body. I don't want to hire him.
All right, back to the question.
Anyway, I would never want the body because realistically, if I were to have that body, I'd be in the gym 3 hours a day. It's not reasonable. That doesn't fit in with my life. It's not that important to me to look like that, to spend that amount of time. Besides, I love food. Like, I would never eat if I was that guy. So that doesn't really work out for me. But I do make sure that I exercise 20 to 30 minutes a day. And I think that writing for a lot of people is like that basic exercise. Like, it's more important to do it a little bit than not do it at all. So that actually is exactly what I mean by have your word count and hit it. And your word count doesn't need to be 10,000 words. Writing is my full-time job. So I have to have a high word count. That's what I'm doing to feed my family and build for my future. But if it's not your full-time job, even if you, let's say you're a freelance writer, your personal word count might be different. But maybe that's only 500 words. Maybe 300 words is enough. But 300 words is still 10,000 words in a month. You know, it's still a short story. It's still something that you built that now you have forever.
And one thing I've seen a lot of people ask us about, and a lot of people talk about doing, is they get frustrated. And this is something I actually did before I was writing routinely and regularly. I would get stuck on something, and I would just keep rewriting the same thing over and over and over.
Yeah, don't do that.
That really defeats a word count. With a word count, I think you really just need to throw it out there, not edit it. Go back the next day, do something, continue. Yeah. Don't edit what you did the day before.
Yeah.
Wait a few weeks, or wait till it's over.
Don't edit what you did the day before, and definitely don't edit as you're writing, because that's just it defeats the purpose. It really is about speed and momentum. And it doesn't matter what your word count is. What matters is hitting it. So if your word count is only 300 words a day, hit 300 words a day. And 300 words a day, if you're coming to the page knowing what you're going to write, should not take you long. It should not be, an hour endeavor. Even if you have 30 minutes a day, even if you only have 20 minutes a day, you should be able to get 300 words, because that's just like, and even if it's just journaling I think is a really good way to kind of start writing. If you don't have a practice normally now, give yourself 20 minutes a day. And I actually, I'll talk about that on the journaling part, so I don't get too rambly. But yeah, hit your word count, whatever it is, and it doesn't matter what it is, but hit it and try to incrementally grow, just like you would if you're lifting weights or running or anything else. So if you hit 300 now and you're hitting 300 every day, nudge it up to 350, to 4, to 5, until you're really comfortable, and you'll find you're training yourself. So you'll be able to get 300 words in less time a month after you've done it every day.
Okay.